a mate of mine threw this in a skip, so he said it burnt out, stopped working, so I thought I'd have it for free and I'd take a look at it. It's a Makita DSS611 little circular saw, so I'm going to pull it in bits and see if I can suss out what's up with it. I don't actually have any Makita tills of my own, so I don't have any batteries to test it, but I'm going to try it with a little 12 volt motorbike battery that I have, just to prove that it ain't working. So I'll stick these on here. That should do it. No, nothing there. Right, I'll pull this in bits. I'll show you how to get it apart, if I can figure it out myself. Let's have a look. Right, first I'm going to have a look at the brushes and see it's the easiest bit to get to. And see if there's aught wrong in there. Get this end cap off. First of all. You can see in there where brushes are little brush housings. I'll get that stubborn little cap off. Right, before I take any brushes out, I'm just going to mark which way around they are. I'm just going to put a mark on, just so I get them in the same way around, just in if they're slightly worn, they want to go back the same way they came out. So let's put a little mark like that. One little brush out. Actually looks like brand new, so I can't see out being wrong in there, so I'll put that in there. Check the other side out. I'll just mark it again, so I'll put 2 on this one, then I know that's that side. Looks like brand new. I haven't done a lot of work this little Makita saw, but look at it. If you look down into that hole where the brushes make contact, there's a little commutator on the end of the motor down there, which is like a copper surface which the brushes make contact with. Just check it's in good condition. Looks really well. Don't look to be anything wrong down there. And the grooves, sometimes they fill up with carbon off the brushes when they're worn down. They want cleaning out, but this is like brand new. So I don't think there's aught wrong in there. Right. I'm going to pull it down further and have a look, see if we can get it apart. So looks like I need to take this little end of this little lever off to get this side cover off. So I need this little C clip out of the way. Take that off there. And then this little lever just pulls off the top. And this is it's like a long nut And the threads are actually the opposite way around. It's right clockwise to undo it, so take that nut off. And there's a little washer, take the washer off. Now this cover can slide over the top of that long bolt there. Once I've undone all the screws. So
what is it? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 6 or 7 screws. I'll split these out. We can get inside it. Just make a note where you take them out from, because there's different threads and different lengths of screws. The two around the motor are really long like that. I think all the rest of them are probably little self-tappers. So look. Yeah, little self-tappers like that. Just going out. Right, that's all then. Take this side cover here. All this lot will come off. You can see inside. That's it. That cover.
straight away I can smell burning. So there's something amiss in here. Just make sure I don't lose everything. I'm not actually sure what this little box does, but it's some kind of control unit. Yeah, and it stinks. It's probably this that's burnt. There's a little bulge on the back there. Like it's got warm or something, it's bubbled it out. So I'd guess it's probably this that's burnt out. So I'm going to try and diagnose that further before I get a part for it. Just to prove, well, to diagnose further, and I just want to see if the motor actually works and the trigger. So I'm going to just bypass this little box and just run straight from battery through the trigger to the motor and see if it actually turns. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to snip this wire here and just go straight to the battery from there. Right, so as I said, I'm just going to bypass this little control unit thing. There. This is the motor side, the bit that goes straight to the motor, so I'm just going to bare that off a bit so I can connect my wires to it. I'll stick a little spade, connector spade on the end of it. Right, as you can see, I've connected a negative wire from my little motorbike battery because I don't have any Makita batteries. And that goes straight to the motor. Right, to test this, I'm going to have to put the brushes back in.
So, stick them back in.
And I've got my marks on it, so it's easy to see which one goes where. So they just simply push back in and click into place.
I'll stick this all back on. And on the other side. That's it. Line the little marks up so it's nice and easy. Get it right way around.
Now I'm going to connect my little motorbike battery up just to check if this motor is actually working or not. So got my brushes back in. This negative wire which I've taken off this little control box, my battery negative goes straight to the motor now. And the positive I've connected onto where the battery connects. pull the switch here, if the motor works, it should spin the saw. Bear in mind I've still got a blade in it, so keep your hands well away if you're doing this. Yeah, not wrong with motor on that trigger switch, so that's good. So it looks like it's this little control unit that's burnt out, which I suspected because it stinks. So I'll have a look into that and try and get one of them ordered. Right guys, got a new part here off eBay, about 23 quid. So I'm going to connect this up now and see if we can get this saw working properly. So first job, I'm going to disconnect this old control unit. So I'll cut this old connector off the negative to the motor. And strip that back a bit. It's already stripped on the new piece. You just pull a little sheathing off. No, I've decided I'm going to solder it because I don't like them little squash connectors. They're a bit useless. Right, I'm just going to put a bit of heat shrink over these two negative wires. I'll just put a bit of flux on the wires just to help the solder to stick. That's it, that's them two soldered together. So I'll put my little heat shrink over it now. There we go. Negative connected. Right, so the other black wire goes to where the battery connects on the back of there, so I'll just pull that off. And then the little pink wire's in with the positive from the motor. So I'll just unscrew that. And that's that out of there. Right, that's the old control unit removed. I'll connect my little pink wire first into the motor positive.
That's in there.
And then the wire, there's a black wire coming out of the control unit, and that goes onto where the battery connects onto the back of there. That's that. And then the little yellow wire goes onto the battery holder on the back.
Just down here.
And that's it, it's all connected. So I'm just going to try and put it all back where it's meant to be. Just to tidy it up a bit. Right, you can see new little control units back in. Fairly straightforward to connect it up. Route all the wires back where they're supposed to be. Click them in these little holders. That's my little heat shrink bit I soldered. Just make sure you get the trigger switch back in and these little springs in place properly, and then it's ready for side cover to go back on and see if it's a success. So let's have a look. Simple as that on this. Long screws around the motor.
So that'll screw in there. On there. I need to answer this, so I'm going to put the phone down. I'll put this little end cap on the end of the motor. And then there's just a little adjuster bolt that stops this moving. So you put that on, make sure the little groove is to the top. And it actually screws on anti-clockwise, the opposite thread. Put the washer on first. And screw that on. You need to just work out where this has to sit, because this is your little timing lever. So just stop this platform going up and down. So I mean, you can take that off and you can turn it a little bit, and it'll be in the wrong place because it's catching it. So you just work out where it has to be. It's easy. Yeah, that's okay. And I'll put my little clip on into the groove. Set some ties. That's it. That's working.
There you have it. My saw's working again. So with a new blade and a proper battery on, be in business. Right, hope that's helpful to some of you. If you want to have a go diagnosing your own faults on your tools and having a go at it. And thanks for watching.